As we begin this edition, let us inform you that the President Paul Kagame is in Uganda, where he's attending the celebrations for the birthday of Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. The Rwandan Head of State has attended a State Banquet hosted by President Yoweri Museveni at State House in honor of the General's birthday. Residents of Kigali City point out that divorce cases are increasing day by day and that this is more alarming largely due to the fact that people get married without proper discernment. The Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion is urging couples to be vigilant before getting married and respect their marriage vows. Olive Nete reports.
Many of these residents claim that the increase in divorce cases is due to not fulfilling responsibilities of one of the people in the marriage for a variety of reasons, but also say that some of the marriages break down, but yet it was like they never occurred in the first place because they married each other without fully thinking about it.
There are some people who have fleeting feelings without even analyzing if this person should be a friend or a life partner, knowing his or her weaknesses, strength, and before going for church teachings about marriage or from the local authorities, people should first seek advices from siblings as well.
There are also those who say that many people are not legally separated, but yet live together as strangers, which sometimes leads to conflicts, and it would have been better if they were separated. It is fornicating, where you see a husband cheating on his partner. After that, he no longer provides for his family. Instead, he provides for those he's cheating with. This is what is causing households to collapse and even results in murder. They continue saying that before divorcing, there are a number of signs that leads to it, including ignorance of responsibilities of one or both in the marriage, and that when it gets to that level, it is hard to prevent the divorce. But sometimes, families plays a role in helping them stay together.
Men are also abused, and to cover it up, a man chooses to be spiteful, and after that, the man decides not to do his responsibilities till the wife gets fed up. And when the wife is fed up, takes a decision to go to the local authorities to claim. And because the woman's voice is more quick than a man's voice.
We were almost separated. My father-in-law was the one who reunited us. I learned that I should communicate with my partner and be truthful without hiding anything, so that we can get to know what the problem is and solve it. The Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Professor Jeanette Bayisenge, urges men and women to get married in a well-organized manner and to ensure that their marriage lasts long in the best interests of family members. We say this because fulfilling the principle of equality and complementarity is complementing each other in all, discussing matters frankly and collaborating in every work, be it home activities or even other activities. But today in the books that have been launched includes a book about divorce. But I request you all to put our efforts together and follow all that I said that can help us build a secure family with peace, including helping each other in advices and also not focusing on oneself, but focus on both of you as one person, so that the book of divorce can lack information to be filled in. We can all work together to make that happen. Statistics from the National Institute of Statistics shows that in 2019, the number of households collapsing through divorces reached 8,941 from 1,331 households that collapsed in the previous year of 2018, which means that the number of households collapsed was 6.8 times in just a year. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive, for that report. Now, researchers and experts in international law believe that those who deny the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi are often linked and supported by neighboring countries or governments that helped the genocide regime to prepare and execute it despite the UN's recognition of the genocide against the Tutsi. Now, they also say there are loopholes in the laws that would be used in the courts of those countries to punish those who deny the genocide against the Tutsi. Sam Kalisa has this report.
Some Rwandans living in the diaspora say that despite cases of those who deny the genocide against the Tutsi and spread its ideology, they make efforts to work with Rwanda's embassies in those respective countries to denounce those with such views.
Ikibazo tumaze iminsi duhanganye nacyo ni ikibazo cya.
We've been fighting the issue for a while. Rwanda's embassy in the UK, as well as partner organizations, have put in efforts. After seeing Kayeme's statement, we reached out to the Edinburgh University to show unsatisfaction with the rector's statement, and they've replied, promising to take a close analysis on the issue. So we encounter the problem many times, especially during the commemoration period. Some do it intentionally, while others do it due to lack of information about the genocide against the Tutsi. So the fight is still a long process. Researcher and author Paul Rukesha says those who deny the genocide against the Tutsi are often linked to countries in the region or even governments that played a role in the preparation and execution of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. She's from the DRC, and you've seen that she was mostly supported by the Jambo ISBL, an organization of descendants of some of those who played a role in the preparation and execution of the genocide against the Tutsi. We were happy that the University of Edinburgh apologized and promised to take a further action, but for sure, such a person should not be allowed to continue teaching. British investigative journalist and author Linda Melverne, who wrote the book Intent to Deceive, Denying the Genocide of the Tutsi, says the increase in the number of deniers in the UK is alarming.
But in the case of Rwanda, it is particularly pernicious because a movement has grown up to use this distorted history to try to attack the government here, and that is its danger. I do believe, I've just said it, that there are different rules when reporting Rwanda to when reporting takes place in the West. You can say almost anything you like. We've seen that with no fact-checking. Books are now produced that are not properly prepared. There is no proper background investigation or research. You know, when reporting the assassination of Habyarimana, it would be rather like reporting the assassination of President Kennedy and ignoring all the scientific reports, all the witnesses, and just taking two people who have an alternative view for their own ends and reporting what they're saying as fact. I mean, it is absolutely ludicrous. And time will tell. It is a matter of time. And I do think that in the end, those facts that are established will win out. Truth can pass through fire and not get burned, I think. This is I have heard this many times. Yeah.
Although the United Nations declared April 7th as the International Day of the Reflection on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and adopted Resolution 2150 of 2014 calling upon states to recommit to prevent and fight against a genocide and other serious crimes under international law, there is still loopholes in these laws.
We know to date that we still have people who claim to be doing scholarly work or exercising their rights to freedom of expression and rights to speech, trying to cast doubt on whether the genocide against Tutsis was actually committed. And this is what we are experiencing until the recent past, when we are in this commemoration for the 28th time. And it is my strongest view that it's now time for the community of nations to put an end to this. It is not enough to recognize that a genocide was committed against Tutsis. We need to hold individuals and groups accountable for denial, for any attempt to divert the attention and give it a mischaracterization, And that is supposed to be defined as an offense, a punishable offense. And whoever that is involved or is suspected is supposed to be investigated and prosecuted.
Rwanda has sent 1,149 arrest warranty documents to 38 countries demanding the arrest of those suspected of the role in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. But only 22 countries have sent genocide suspects to Rwanda. 21 countries have tried genocide suspects from their respective countries. Justice is seen as one of the strategies to crack down those who deny the genocide against the Tutsi. Sam Kalisa, Rwanda Television News.
Survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in what used to be Rwamatamu commune in Nyamasheke district say they forgave the people who took the lives of their loved ones, but say many genocide perpetrators have continued to refuse to reveal the location of the bodies of the genocide victims. We must warn you that the testimony in the following report is very disturbing.
The lyrics in this song describe the terrible experience Emmanuel Mukomezangoga had to endure during the genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda when he was just 10 years old. My mother was dying and could not open her mouth. In fact, she had clenched her teeth shut. And being young, I did not realize that her life was rapidly slipping away. I kept trying to give her milk and it would just flow down her cheeks. I kept trying to pry her teeth open. The next morning, I found her dead and finally understood. She was completely naked, so I covered her. You can imagine how traumatizing it was for me to see my own mother naked and dead. This happened in what used to be Rwamatamu commune, now present-day Gihombo, Chirimbi and Mahembe sectors in Nyamasheke district of the Western Province, bordering the DRC and on the shores of Lake Kivu. The atrocities that were committed there were so bad, the few Tutsi who survived did so by escaping to other areas. But even that was not easy, with the killers monitoring the border to stop people trying to flee into what used to be Zaire and destroying boats so that no one was able to cross via Lake Kivu. 28 years after the nightmare that was the genocide against the Tutsi in that region, bodies are still being found, and survivors are wondering why the perpetrators that were granted forgiveness for their terrible crimes do not reveal the location of the bodies of their victims.
Igipimo ku mbabazi abacitse ku icumu rya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi batanze.
Genocide survivors have forgiven many perpetrators, and this is a known fact. So much so, saying that the forgiveness level is close to 100% would not be an exaggeration. But we are not sure how that forgiveness has been received because 28 years after the genocide against the Tutsi, we are still painfully slowly finding the bodies of the victims in different locations, and many bodies are yet to be found, and we have no idea where they are. We are asking them to receive the forgiveness they have been given and tell us where the bodies of our loved ones are so that they can be given a decent burial. A number of officials were present as the latest bodies of 17 genocide victims that were found were given a decent burial at the Gihombo Genocide Memorial, including the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Claudine Wera, and she called on all people with information on the locations of the bodies of genocide victims to come forward with it. Up to 73,547 Tutsi are known to have died in the former Rwamatamu commune during the fastest genocide in recorded human history.
Genocide survivors in Rukumberi sector of Goma district in the Eastern Province are thanking the soldiers of what used to be the Rwanda Patriotic Army for saving their lives during the genocide against the Tutsi and the government of national unity that has helped them to rebuild their lives. Again, please be warned that some of the information contained in the following can be very disturbing.
Savera Nyinawinyindi was just 19 years old as she ran from place to place hiding for her life during the worst atrocities Rwanda and the world had seen in 1994 as the genocide against the Tutsi raged on. She lived in Rukumberi sector at the time and told us how she has never been able to forget the way she lost her entire family, but worst of all, witnessed their naked bodies eaten by dogs out in the open. In tears, she also recounted how young girls were raped out on the hillsides and then killed, saying the images have been shared into her memory. She and other genocide survivors, however, like Etienne Gihana, have never stopped being grateful to the RPF Inkotanyi for saving their lives.
We thank the
RPF Inkotanyi for their role in the fact that we survived, because had they not intervened, no one would have survived. The RPF Inkotanyi are the only reason I am able to stand here today and talk to you. Every year on the 24th of April, commemoration events are held to remember the Tutsi who were killed at Rukumberi, that was part of what used to be Sake commune, with more than 45,000 known to have died in that area alone. During the commemoration, it was reminded that genocide ideologies should not be tolerated because that is exactly what led to the atrocities of 1994. On this occasion, up to 160 bodies of the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi that were found on farms in surrounding areas were given a decent burial at the Rukumberi Genocide Memorial, joining more than 42,500 already buried there.
Members of the RPF Inkotanyi party in Nyagatare district, representing others at various levels, say that they are concerned about the issues that are hampering community development at the forefront of the issue of school dropouts. Now, these members are vowing to work together to find a solution to these problems. Take a look. In an exchange of views between the RPF Inkotanyi leaders, representing others at various levels and at the Nyagatare district level, it was pointed out that among the ways to accelerate the development of the RPF in its various activities include resolving issues that are considered to be socially significant. Among the problems that still affect the population is the fact that children are dropping out of school. In just 1 week in the beginning of the third term of school, 16,384 students in all social classes in Nyagatare district have not yet showed up at school, while 118 students have totally dropped out of school. The issue of some people being homeless, child stunting, and some people that live in the same roof with their livestock are what members believe they will resolve with the cooperation between them and the rest of the community.
The issues affecting the people are for us to address as a party, because among the pillars of our party is to ensure the well-being of the people, and for that to be achieved, we shouldn't have some members sharing the same roof with their livestock, members that are homeless or dealing with stunting, and the community at large that is facing those problems. Currently, we've started counting members and the people with those issues in all villages, so that after identifying them, we can start resolving these problems. Firstly, we shall have to build houses for those that are homeless.
The RPF Inkotanyi chairman in Nyagatare district and district mayor Gasana Stefan stressed on the campaign to mobilize members to address these issues that are hampering the development of the community as a whole, while also improving their activities.
First and foremost, there is a campaign to mobilize members to address these issues, such as in education, how the schools operate, programs of feeding children at schools, and health, because having good health includes eating nutritious food, cleanliness, and having a place to live. As members, we work together.
It was also pointed out that in the functioning of the RPF Inkotanyi, members should not only look at the problems in the community, but also play a key role in resolving them. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you so much for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.